Welcome back to the James Madison. The $1 million winner-take-all, the basketball tournament. Winner-take-all, the basketball tournament. Shell Shock in the white, Love Virginia in the red. I didn't even move that time. I have no idea what's going on. Shell Shock representing the Maryland Terrapins, the Alumni team, and Love Virginia representing the Richmond Pro-Am. First look at this Maryland team, a little shorthanded though, Joey.
Yeah, missing two of their best and most prolific guards, Eric Ayala, Melo Trimble, as Maryland fans will know very well. Unfortunately, unable to play tonight due to some swelling in the knee for Melo Trimble. Another injury for Eric Ayala. Not out for the entire tournament. Obviously, work to be done tonight, but Maryland without two of their maybe most notable players on this Alumni team for now, but that won't stop them now. And on the other end, they're facing a Love Virginia team known as an incredibly athletic group representing the Love Virginia Pro-Am out of Virginia.
Take a look at the TBT rules. 4 9-minute quarters. Every game ends on a make. We'll stop the clock at or under 4 minutes. Add 8 points to the leading team score. That's your target score. Blocked off the glass early. DeJour Dickens, we were watching him in warm-ups. He really flashes athletically, and he's showing it on both ends.
He can absolutely fly, and I mean that in two ways. He is quick and fast on the court, but vertically, he gets up, and he gets up in a hurry, as you saw there.
A lot of contact inside. Morcell draws the foul.
Darryl Morcell, one of those guys that is playing for the Maryland Terrapins, and very notable one at that. Ended his career at Marquette, but spent 4 great years as a Terrapin, where he was as much of a fan favorite as I can remember in recent years. And I had many battles against him on the court, me on the bench. But a very fun guy to watch, a guy that plays incredibly hard and does all the little things well.
He's Joey Lane, former Ohio State captain. I'm Eric Duick. It's the $1 million winner-take-all the basketball tournament. Year 2 for Shell Shock, the Terrapin alums. Previously played in 2023. Juan Dixon, Maryland legend, national champion under Gary Williams, the head coach of this Terrapin squad. Buckingham off balance. And an easy lay.
What a phenomenal pass, catching everybody, and most importantly, Diamond Stone underneath off guard. A little left-handed shovel pass towards the rim, done to perfection.
March steps into a 3 and hits.
I watched Ronald March, number 25 in white, shoot about 17 threes in warm-ups, and I don't know if he hit the rim on any of them. As good of a shooter as you'll find in this game.
Stone, the former McDonald's All-American, a lot of traffic underneath, and it stays with Shell Shock.
Diamond Stone doing a great job of running the floor there, and the key for him, and really for Maryland, and you see a guy who was drafted to the NBA, a McDonald's All-American, a first-team all-freshman team member at his time as a Terrapin. How engaged is he going to be?
Stone, easy flush.
Pretty engaged right there, loses the ball but stays with the play, flashes to the rim hard for the easiest bucket he'll have all night.
White connects from outside.
Really tough contested two for Malik White out of Providence. A lot of tough shot takers and makers on this Love Virginia team.
Stone can't respond. CJ Wiggins, the GM and head coach for Love Virginia. Late call.
Malik White doing a good job of changing his speed and direction there, coming off the ball screen to reward himself with 3 points. Daryl Morcell had his hand on his hip the entire way. A little tiny shove, but can't touch a shooter when he's in motion.
Malik White, 27-year-old out of Providence. Hands love Virginia the lead. Love Virginia taking everybody off the line. Don't usually see that so early in a game.
That's just called confidence in your free throw shooter. Hopefully Malik White proves them right here. Classic.
March, another one, stays hot.
We talked a lot about in our last game, guys that when they shoot it, you just assume it's going in, and that's the best compliment that I can give to a shooter, and that's what Ronald March feels like right now.
Mormon on the other side. Morcell bodies inside. Stone a deep two. Swishes it.
Daryl Morcell doing a great job of backing his man down and making the right play there. I was curious why Diamond Stone was cutting towards the ball there to take up the space, but worked out to perfection there to get the two.
Morcell with the left.
So impressed by Daryl Morcell because his calling card was always on the defensive end and being a great energy guy, and he's really transformed his game, especially when he left Maryland in his 1 year at Marquette. He became so much more of an offensive threat, and seeing what he's doing there in transition, just a testament to how much better these players get after they graduate college, and a lot of Maryland fans haven't seen him since then.
3-on-2, Morcell the trailer. Offensive foul.
And that's 2 on Morcell as he gets the charge there. What a great play in transition by Malik Johnson, the most unselfish play in basketball, taking the charge there. Morcell just a little out of control there in the fast break, and he knows he wants that one back. Maryland's deep, though. The Shell Shock team, they're deep. They're coming in waves, whether it's guards or big man. Fresh new guys, fresh new bodies in the game.
Xavier Green, 23 in the white. Andre Fox, 27. A couple of the new bodies. LG Gill as well. Three off the offensive rebound. Still loose. Johnson. And it stays with Red.
This Love Virginia team, we talked about how athletic they were in the open, but more importantly right now, they are a scrappy bunch and pretty undersized right now. 4 guys under about 6'5" on the court, still getting all those offensive rebounds.
March lost it. Tried to go inside this time. White. Pretty good pace early. Tutu Lewis drills it.
Tutu Lewis has such an incredible story. He's known by most as a Virginia basketball legend. Hasn't played professionally in a few years, but can still score with the best of them.
Voiles a quick 0 for 2 off the bench. We're tied at 14. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. $1 million winner take all the basketball tournament. Shell Shock now the highest remaining seed. Happy Valley Hoopers lost earlier in the 1-8 game. Lewis skied that over everything. Voiles is not shy. Pass to nobody. First time out of the game, tied at 14, 2:15 to go, first quarter. $1 million winner take all the basketball tournament. Shell Shock basketball out of the media timeout, 14-14, 2:15 first quarter, $1 million winner take all the basketball tournament. Anthony Tark, 3 in the white into the game for Shell Shock. Gill, blocked from behind by Faulkner Smith.
What a great rejection, and Love Virginia just comes in waves. We already saw one great block from Dickens, and now Faulkner Smith doing the same thing.
A lot of turnovers early. Tally, defense backed off. March buries it.
I mean, my man hasn't even hit the rim yet in this game, and he's doing a catch and shoot. He's doing it off the dribble. Hand down, man down, he has come to play, number 25 in white.
Chris Lane can't counter it. Faulkner Smith underneath. Rolls out to Mormon. Mormon, tough pull-up, banks in.
The bank was open last game. The bank is still open now. I'm sure he meant to do that from head on.
Yeah, the other one was from the corner. That being a corner three for the Raleigh 919 Legends in our last game, knocked off the top-seeded Happy Valley Hoopers, the Penn State alumni. Late whistle there, that came from the outside.
Late whistle, but the correct call.
Jeff Allen.
As Jeff Allen grabbed a little bit of that wrist as they headed to the basket, and Mormon will shoot two here as a result. Surprised Mormon's not going for the bank shot on the free throws. He basically just hit a bank shot pull-up from the free throw line before this. Played his collegiate basketball at Cincinnati and Towson. Plays for Dynamo BBC out of Burundi.
He actually played the same 2 years at Towson as Justin Gorham, big member of Forever Cougs last year. He had later transferred to Houston. And that's off Borcel. 10 seconds left first quarter. Love Virginia can hold for one.
Really great defense by Mormon there. Caught Morcel napping. Being a little bit too casual. If I'm being completely honest, Daryl Morcel has come into this game and he's just too casual. He's playing a little too cool for school right now.
Tally accelerates. Runner, no, tipped up. And a wedgie inside a second. Possession arrow does stay, though, with Love Virginia. So definitely got time for a baseline out of bounds play.
Our first wedgie together. How fun is that? Shout out to my guy, Jake Marsh, who I was on the call with last year. That man loves his wedgies. The over-under for a regional is always 1.5 wedgies, and we've got one. Next one, the over hits.
And that 3-2 strong as the quarter closes 17-all. Love Virginia shell shock of Maryland in the $1 million winner-take-all the basketball tournament. Start of the second quarter, Love Virginia, shell shock in the $1 million winner-take-all the basketball tournament. Shell shock in the white, Love Virginia in the red. Any big takeaways on the day so far, Joey?
Yeah, you know, in this game, it's going to be about Maryland bringing some fight and shell shock, you know, bringing some fight to this game, because right now they're relying on their talent. And yes, they've made 3 threes all by one guy, but they're relying on their talent and size really to keep them in this game when Love Virginia is playing immensely harder basketball.
Marsh comes up cold on that one.
He's human. His first miss of the game. Anytime he shoots and misses, it's a huge victory for Love Virginia.
3 threes in that first quarter. Lane powers in.
A Lane driving to the basket? Could not be me. Great take, and way to use the rim there as an extra offensive man.
And Stone empty on the dunk and just standing back on the other end. Extra pass, Moorman caught it on the sideline.
Number one pet peeve in basketball for me is when you don't know where you are on the floor and you see a shooter, any great shooter is almost never going to have their heel on that sideline because they know when they're in bounds. It's just a tough break for Love Virginia there.
Stone skies for that rebound, but out of bounds. Ball back to Love Virginia. Stone, the former 40th overall pick, had a short run with the Clippers. Trying to talk his way into some calls here.
Something tells me the more you talk about the calls, the less chance you have of getting one in.
March, the trailer, hesitates and finishes.
What a great move in transition. The shot fake on the catch while he's moving forward.
And a big 3 from Lewis, his second.
2-2 Lewis, man, can really shoot the ball and showcasing it early and often in this game.
March draws the foul. Love Virginia up 3. And 2 big absences, Eric Ayala and Melo Trimble, the big guard names for the shell-shocked Terrapin alumni, both injured, and that lack of guard play may be showing a little early.
Definitely, and it's not an excuse, right? Because Maryland is, this shell shock team is deep and they're talented. And yeah, it's a struggle and an issue when you're missing 2 of your best players, of course, no doubt about it. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about how engaged, what kind of tenacity they're bringing, and that's how you make up for that loss and talent there. They have more than enough to be winning this basketball game today.
Nima Omidvar, the general manager for Shell Shock. Previously coached the team, but he said he had to fire himself. Nobody wants to watch me coach. You can watch Juan Dixon. He thinks guys like Juan Dixon, that's what TBT is all about. Getting some former Terrapin legends on your sidelines. Joe Smith, the former #1 overall pick on that Maryland sideline as well, standing up at the top of your picture. And a timeout for the Shell Shock bench. Juan Dixon, former Coppin State head coach, ready to draw something up. As far as the day overall, Happy Valley Hoopers go down. We did see the Red Rose Thunder earlier. Got the victory against Magic Show in our first game. They really seemed to settle in after that ugly first quarter.
Yeah, and they really impressed in that second half where they absolutely took it to the Magic Show team in their first game in TBT. And so far, I know they've got a game to play tonight, but the biggest winner might just be the Founding Fathers in that game, because their path to a regional championship becomes a little bit easier being at home, and Happy Valley Hoopers is gone. They got to take care of business tonight, but the vision is there for sure. The beauty of the tournament, it just doesn't matter what seed you are, especially because the opposing teams, they do not care who they're playing against. They're coming for that money.
Raleigh Legends, they were ready to go. It showed.
They were legends today, that's for sure.
And Love Virginia looks ready to go in this one. You can't overlook anybody. Diamond Stone, good position there, draws the foul.
Finally gets a call. Good for Diamond Stone. Been begging and pleading for one, and I will say, to his credit, a guy like him playing in these games against undersized big men, they're going to do everything they can in order to get any sort of advantage on the defensive end, and that means grabbing, holding, fouling, and he's getting fouled every time he catches it.
White rifles inside for the layup. Lewis, 8 early.
Great vision from White, number 4 in red, to find Tutu Lewis underneath.
Stone, that one did look like a lot of contact on the left arm. That one I could understand Stone being dismayed about.
Still good vision there from Darryl Morcell to find his former teammate Diamond Stone and current teammate at Shell Shock. Maryland going into their bench, bringing back Gill in for Diamond Stone. See if he can bring some juice.
Cardacci, fall away 3, buries it.
Welcome to the game, Cardacci. One of those guys that walks on the floor and everybody knows he's a shooter and it doesn't matter. He's still getting it off. What a tough look on his first catch of the entire game.
Played for Juan Dixon at Coppin State. Now gets to play for him in TBT. Pretty cool connection. And Joey, one thing I don't like seeing right now, you just saw it in the top corner of your screen. Couple Terrapins having to quiet Diamond Stone down a little bit, calm him down. Without a Melo Trimble and Eric Ayala, they're going to need him to be invested in this ball game. And the body language did not look right so far.
I said it at the beginning, you need an engaged Diamond Stone, and not engaged in the way he is right now, where he's complaining and yelling about foul calls. Next play mentality here, one of his teammates has to tell him, as Darryl Morcell picks up his 3rd foul there, and Love Virginia continuing to take it to Shell Shock.
Ronald March set to check back in.
I know we don't have a replay for you guys at home here, but you can see Darryl Morcell hand up, trying desperately to get out of the way to avoid picking up that 3rd foul, and still a little undercut, and gets called for his 3rd as Love Virginia drops back into a little zone.
Gill, maybe he can step up with Stone off the floor. Hesitation off the window.
Great move and great patience there with the head fake to get back to his left hand that he uses so well, and a great finish through traffic.
Gill steps up in the screen coverage. Buckingham. Just 10 on the shot clock. Way over the head of White. And ball back to Shell Shock with the opportunity to tie or take the lead.
And you can feel it now and see it on your screen. The Maryland bench, the Shell Shock bench, really getting into this game, urging and pleading their teammates to continue to bring the pressure on defense, because that's leading to great offense.
Voiles steps in. Near putback from Gill. Still loose underneath. Stays Shell Shock.
The energy and effort has really taken a step up here for Shell Shock as they look to try and make a play to get the lead here in this game and extend it possibly thereafter. As Cardacci, rightfully so, getting held on the same play that got him 3 points earlier when he first checked in. You can feel in the air this Maryland team is starting to turn it up a notch, and it might just be with a different cast of characters than expected.
Well said. Turnover. And now Juan Dixon walked all the way to the end of the bench to talk to Diamond Stone. Stone was just standing in the corner. Stone looks ready to check back in now. White.
Poor communication on that ball screen where Malik White slipped right out of it. And the shell shock guards didn't know if they were staying or switching, and no communication there, leading to the wide open three.
Now Stone back to the bench for shell shock.
Great take there by Ronald March to get himself back to the free throw line, get himself going again. Had such a hot first quarter and really was the only offense for shell shock there. And since other guys have stepped up and they still have a 5-point deficit here, maybe these two free throws can get him back to that first quarter version of March.
And I love that Nima Omidvar, the former Maryland Director of Operations, Maryland graduate, he's charting stuff behind that shell shock bench.
When you work in basketball, specifically college and then into professional basketball, there is a mindset of you chart everything for that team, whether it's points, rebounds, or deflections. Everything's being charted, and some people can't watch a basketball game without doing it, especially if you're on that staff.
Buzz Williams, the new Maryland head coach, pictured on Twitter the other day wearing a shell shock jersey. Cardacci the rebound. He does seem to have provided some spark. March can't reverse it home, but a foul.
Another great take by Ronald March. It appeared to be a bit of a bailout there. Would have been a very tough finish, but a foul nonetheless, and he'll head back to the line.
Where would shell shock be without Ronald March? 30-27 deficit for shell shock in the $1 million, the basketball tournament. Ronald March to the free throw line for shell shock. What surprises me a little bit, Joey, about the way shell shock came out is you just saw the Happy Valley Hoopers lose. You would think they'd have a little bit more pep in their step in this one.
You'd think, but as talented of a team and the 7 coaches that they have on staff, nothing can prepare you for the TBT aside playing in the TBT. And they've only played one game ever, and it wasn't even last year, right? And there's a lot of new faces on this Shell Shock team where until you are in the battle that is the basketball tournament and you face these teams of hungry, professional, and maybe even semi-professional basketball players, you don't get a good feel for what the expectation is and how hard it is to win in this tournament. Maybe it took them a quarter and a half, but it finally feels like they have a sense of the moment and what it means to play in this TBT.
Johnson scoops it in. I think Shell Shock rightly thought he double dribbled there.
It looked so outrageous that maybe there's a lot of things in basketball that look illegal that aren't illegal. That might have been an example of one.
Stone doubled, spins and lays. I think he just hit, his head just hit the foot of his teammate, LG Gill.
He just needed a quick breather. He definitely fell awkwardly right into the back of his teammate's knee, maybe. It looked like his head, back of his head into his teammate's knee, and it was awkward and could have been much worse than it was, but you know, sometimes you fall like that, even if you make a great bucket like he did. You feel a little embarrassed, you're a little tired, takes you a long time to get up. I've been there, Diamond. I understand.
I'm gonna back you on that one. I hate to say that when someone grabs their head, but yeah, he was just catching a breath.
And it's scary. Like it's scary when you fall like that.
Voiles bobbles away a layup opportunity, and ball back to Love Virginia.
He had so many options there in transition on that fast break. He didn't know which one to choose. He had LG Gill running on his right. He had Diamond Stone trailing right behind him, and yet somehow the ball ends up out of bounds.
16 points for Ronald March, keeping Shell Shock in this. Need a stop here. White spirals out, and March rebounds. Off the screen from Stone, who pops a three and cashes, and Shell Shock in front.
And that is an engaged Diamond Stone, pumping his fist, pumping his chest, shouting to his teammates on the bench. He is locked in now.
It helps when you see the ball go through, Joey.
No doubt about it. And listen, everyone is human, and everyone plays harder on defense when they're playing better on offense. And that's not just specific to Diamond Stone. It's any person you've ever played basketball with. The emotion is coming out now that Diamond Stone has seen a tough layup go in and an open three. Rightfully so, turning into the best basketball player in this game.
Former McDonald's All-American, second round pick. Love Virginia back in front.
Buckingham with a huge bucket there as Maryland starting to gain a little bit of momentum, and then a tough foul, a little frustration foul by Ronald March after his turnover. But back to the Love Virginia bucket. The recipe for an upset in TBT is a few different things. One, you got to hit your threes, and Love Virginia has made plenty of threes in this first half, but being consistent. And what I mean by that is never wavering. When teams go on runs, you take a shot and you come right back at them, and that's what Love Virginia has done after that Maryland run.
Mormon, high skyer. Fox the rebound. Outlet, Gill, great grab and deuce.
Rewarding the big man for running in transition. A great contest on one end, resulting in an air ball and leading to a leak out layup. That's how you get the guys going.
Johnson, pull up, splash.
So tough from Malik Johnson. This whole roster, Love Virginia, these tough shot takers and tough shot makers. Incredible stuff.
White botched the layup. 3-on-2 the other way. Fox pumps, drives. Put back, no, yes.
There's that man again, Diamond Stone. getting up on the offensive end, tipping it to himself once, tipping it in. Shell Shock waking up at the right time.
Stone with 11 points now. 7-second difference, game clock, shot clock. Johnson rifles it underneath. White turnaround blocked. Does this feel like a game that Shell Shock could run away with now that they've gotten their footing in it? Or you think they're
listen,
still
we got 7 seconds left in this half, and there's a lot of basketball to be played, but right now, all the momentum, despite only a 1-point lead, all the momentum is with that team in white, Shell Shock. And listen, if they get a three-pointer right here from Cardici, the lid might blow off this place, and they've got all the momentum.
Morcell back in for offense. Zigzags inside, blocked. And the half ends, no goaltend call. (38-37), Shell Shock leads at the half, and no goaltend call there, and that closes the half.
A great run from Shell Shock to get the lead before halftime. Again, still have all the momentum, but love Virginia hanging around, taking every punch and punching right back. We're in for a great second half coming up.
He's Joey Lane, I'm Eric Dueck. You're watching the $1 million The Basketball Tournament. Shell Shock leads Love Virginia 38-37. Start of the third quarter. $1 million winner-take-all the basketball tournament. Eric Duick, Joey Lane, former Ohio State captain with you from the James Madison region. Joey, let's see if Terp Nation can pick up where it closed that first half.
Yeah, really finished the second quarter strong going into halftime for Shell Shock. You're exactly right. The question being, can they carry that momentum into this game, into the second half, and maybe they turn this into a blowout and create some separation, but Love Virginia, I have a feeling, will not be going quietly.
Representing the Richmond Pro-Am, Shell Shock, the Maryland alumni, and the net really got pretty heavily dislodged there.
I'm amazed that that's what you took from that play, because Daryl Morcell went up and got stuffed off his face and out of bounds. There's not a more demoralizing play in basketball than that.
Well, we already had one dislocated finger today, so that's partly why I was looking at a finger getting caught in the net. Diamond Stone really jumped onto that pile late.
If that scrum doesn't tell you how much this game means to these two teams, there's $1 million on the line here, and this is just game one in the journey for both these teams, but every possession so important.
Xavier Green getting the start for Shell Shock in this second half. Kevon Voiles as well. Daryl Morcell, 3 fouls in that first half, limited his minutes. He finds Diamond Stone, who's hammered from behind, and he has really spent a lot of time on the ground today, Joey.
Yeah, he absolutely has, and a great play there, knowing that Dickens was right in his grill to rip through and drive baseline and draw that foul, knowing he's going to the line. And but right before that play, you mentioned Daryl Morcell being hampered with a little bit of foul trouble. The number one storyline for me is, can he get involved in this game? One of the quote-unquote headliners from Maryland, especially without Eric Ayala, who you see on the bench there, and Melo Trimble. Daryl Morcell is that name that a lot of Terp fans remember next to Diamond Stone. Can he give these Maryland fans that came so far for this game, can he give them a little bit of love and a little jolt of energy here in the second half? 3 fouls, he's in foul trouble, but what does that mean, and what can he bring to this game and affect it maybe in other ways?
Speaking of absences, you mentioned some of those injuries. Also want to send our best to Terrell Stoglin, who was supposed to be part of this Shell Shock roster, but his mother's funeral was today. So Terrell Stoglin not here with the Terps, but they wanted Terp Nation to know it was nothing about a lack of desire or anything of that nature, just unfortunate personal reasons that kept him away from the team. There's a hard crash there with Morcell and Johnson. Stone, transition 3, bottoms.
How about Diamond Stone? Listen, I was pretty critical of him to start this game in terms of his engagement and his desire to be on the floor, it looked like, frankly, and he has shut me up so quickly on both ends of the floor and really has been the best guy out there on the court tonight.
Yeah, his talent level is undeniable. Former McDonald's All-American and 40th overall pick, Diamond Stone. Morcell. Buckingham off right. Green hesitates and puts it in off the rim.
A great outlet pass by Ronald March with his head up after that rebound to throw it ahead, and another steal here for Maryland. And Buckingham will take take one in transition for Love Virginia. Smart play to control the fast break there. And Maryland, shell shock, extending their lead a bit, finding their groove a bit. See if they can continue this press.
He will take a take foul, if you will.
They'll definitely take a take foul instead of 2 points there. It was a 3-on-1 fast break, and that's one thing that you don't see as much in the college game, and you don't see as much in the NBA because of some rules, but that transition take foul that a lot of the overseas players adopt. It's pretty useful, very heady, that's for sure.
Stone bullies on his man, missed it off the side of the backboard. 4-on-3. Empty possession. Stone deep post position. He wanted the rock. March twirls it in.
And that's a testament to how well he's shooting the basketball. He caught on the three-point line. He saw the defender really running at him with a closeout and a quick shot fake. Allows him to get him inside with a little nifty finish for two.
White answers on the other end.
He absolutely answers, and I've been so impressed. It happened so much in the game before this in the Happy Valley versus Raleigh 919 Legends, and it's happening again in this game where both teams are taking punches and giving them right back. There is no extended 10-0, 11, 12-0 runs in these games. Both teams are able to take punches and give them right back.
Again, 2-2 Lewis this time.
And he's just a baller, man. You look up, and we try to do our research on these guys, and you can't find much about him other than Virginia basketball legend. And he is proving that right now with the way he's playing.
Played at Mercer. He's from Richmond. Lewis, a team high 14 a game as a senior at Mercer. But not much pro experience. Morcell with the long rebound. White can't tie it up.
I will say the flow in this basketball game is tremendous compared to what we saw earlier on. A lot of shot making, better decision making, less turnovers. So fun to watch.
Lewis, your guy.
2-2 Lewis absolutely has a new fan in me, and he's got a couple fans to our right cheering him on. We don't know exactly what the affiliation is with this Love Virginia team, but they are living and dying with every single possession, I'm sure, with a lot of you at home.
Shell shock, up one, 3:30 to go, third quarter. $1 million, the basketball tournament. $1 million winner-take-all, the basketball tournament. 6 wins to $1 million. So far, Red Rose Thunder has advanced with a victory against Magic Show. In the Lexington Regional, the Tampa, Florida pickup basketball squad defeated the Duncan Dogs of Louisiana Tech 70-69. Big upset here, the 8-seed Raleigh 919 Legends over the Happy Valley Hoopers 79-75. Eberline Drive, who reached the finals one year, lost to Overseas Elite. They beat Richards Elite 81-63 in Lexington, so Eberline Drive moves on. Eberline Drive actually defeated Happy Valley Hoopers last year in the quarters. March Short. Court Street Kings beat the North in West Virginia. Wichita is underway as well. Fire Family thumped Run DFW 85-65. Fouls called. So you've got 8 simultaneous regions. 4 more starting tomorrow. Boeheim's Army, a really popular team through the years. They're back with the Syracuse region tomorrow. And I know you think that Indianapolis region's pretty loaded too.
My Buckeyes out there, Carmen's crew.
Former champion twice.
Butler's alumni team, Indiana's alumni team. The list goes on and on. Not to mention it's being played in Finkel Fieldhouse, one of the cathedrals of college basketball. So much great basketball all over the country in TBT this week.
Buckingham off glass plus the foul.
A great cut and a great find there, and it looked like Love Virginia's offense had kind of stalled there for a second, and out of nowhere, Talley with a great find, and Buckingham with a great finish. See if he can play off the three-point play. Go get 3 points the old-fashioned way.
Buckingham, a Richmond native, 2-time state champion at Henrico High School, where he was the 5A Player of the Year. It's about 2 hours southeast of here. Shell shock. Better make a move soon. Morcell, Cardacci for the lead.
How about the minutes from Cardacci tonight? Playing incredibly hard on defense and then knocking down open shots. He's such a threat on the offensive end, really has a ton of gravity. And I bet you he expected to play a few spot minutes here or there. He's turning into a very important piece to the Shell Shock team.
It's funny, he was a last-minute ad. Cardacci doesn't get the foul, but he'll go to the line. Nima Omidvar was as much of a joy to talk to as any GM as we've talked to through the years, and he's clearly just so on top of every little detail. And he was saying last night, I did make one mistake and accidentally submit the wrong Kyle. And so Twitter had the wrong graphic of the wrong Kyle that they were adding. And he's like, I sent them a picture. I promise I meant to put this Kyle. He's here practicing with us right now.
Well, this Kyle can absolutely shoot the rock. And man, you know he's a shooter because on that jump shot, he kicked his feet out just a little bit to draw a foul. This guy, you can tell, some guys are just natural born, gifted guys who have worked on their craft for hours and hours. And whether it's at Coppin State, it's at Maryland, a threat from everywhere outside of the arc.
He's playing for the guy that coached him at Coppin State, Juan Dixon. And the other Kyle, the reason that it even happened is because basically it was the Shell Shock database. The other Kyle that accidentally got posted was somebody that Shell Shock was interested in pursuing. So it wasn't just out of nowhere. Push from behind. Foul called. Officials conferring to see which took precedent, the foul versus the out of bounds. Definitely the foul preceded the out of bounds. And we play on.
Love Virginia, and the penalty now will send Shell Shock to the line, and Andre Fox will shoot the 1-and-1. Morcell pleading with the ref, saying he's pushing me off the ball all possession long as soon as that ball went in the air, and deservedly so, gets the foul called on him, and Andre Fox gonna shoot two.
So you're saying you didn't wake up this morning thinking it was going to be a Kyle Cardace 6-0 run that sparked Shell Shock?
I don't think Kyle Cardace thought he was going to have 9 points with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
Nice pocket pass. Chris Lane stripped but fouled first.
And it looks like they're not going to get the foul on Daryl Morcell. They're going to call Tark with the body there. Fortunate that Morcell isn't the one picking up another foul there. A very important piece to the Maryland puzzle, obviously. And as we've talked about, as good as it seems like Shell Shock has been playing, there's still a few lulls, and Love Virginia is hanging in there. Still just a one-possession game.
Morcell, the no-look pass, maybe unnecessarily so. His eyes told us he was swinging it to Tark, but he threw it underneath.
And he sure was open. Both of them were open, and it almost seems like Andre Fox wasn't expecting that ball because of the way that Daryl Morcell looked away, but now's not the time to be flashy. Shell Shock needs buckets. They need them now.
Tally fouled. Nice catch in the corner.
Great catch, great hands by the JMU support staff there.
She played it off real cool too. Just right back.
One-handed, threw it back with her left hand. She does that every day. Nothing new.
Turnover, ball back to Shell Shock.
Defense absolutely ramping up for Shell Shock. Can they get the offense to go with it? Opportunity here for Shell Shock to go 2 for 1 with a quick bucket here. The majority of the bench in for Shell Shock right now, giving the starters a well-deserved rest before they head into the fourth quarter.
Gill offensive rebound. Morcell drives and jams.
Daryl Morcell, I was not familiar with your game. What a tough finish by him. Get up or get out the way.
.12 seconds, third quarter. Gill on the switch. White attacks. Lewis, 3, air ball, and the quarter ends. (57-52), Shell Shock in front. $1 million winner take all the basketball tournament. Start of the fourth quarter, $1 million winner-take-all, the basketball tournament. First stoppage at or under 4. Joey, we go to the Elam-ending Shell Shock. Who's the guard play? Who's delivering you that winning bucket?
Seems like the ball is going to be in Daryl Morcell's hands, and he's starting to get more into it. That dunk that he just had going into the fourth quarter, so important for his confidence.
Anthony Tark shows some ability. And he also played for Juan Dixon at Coppin State.
And now this Maryland alumni team is really vibing. But this is the moment where Love Virginia comes right back and hits a 3 or something, because they will not go away.
And one, Chris Lane.
I mean, just right on cue. Anytime a team goes on a run in this basketball tournament, the opposing team comes back with some sort of counterpunch of their own. It's a real testament to how hard and tough these guys play in this tournament, especially on this Love Virginia squad.
There's good basketball players everywhere. This is a guy who started his career at Longwood, 2-time All-Big South. That was after a brief stint at Drexel, actually. Part-time starter at VCU, and here he is having a nice showing against a team from Maryland with a lot of pedigree. Cardaci backdoor.
Now, if Maryland fans did not know who Kyle Cardaci was before this game, they know now. Huge 11 points off the bench now for number 10 in white.
Lane.
Stop me if you heard this before, but Lane for 3.
No, I actually have not heard that before. Stone. Volleyballed around. Love Virginia. You could still go out there and give us 20, right? Surprised you're not on Carmen Cruz's roster.
20 what? 20 claps?
Tark, that's a tough foul from behind.
A tough foul, but a basketball play nonetheless. Good hard foul. No layups in the TBT. A wise man once said, no marshmallows allowed in the TBT. You can't be soft in this tournament. Good basketball play there. Tark deservedly going to the line for 2 free throws.
He's getting a lot more run in this second half.
He's also standing a good 8 inches behind the free throw line. It's always interesting to see everybody's free throw technique. I'm sure he went 6 games in a row where every free throw was a little long, to the point where he said, you know what, let me just scoop back a little bit more. And now he's money. That first one, incredibly pure.
Okay, there are announcers' jinxes, and then there's that.
Listen,
I'm not
that's his own fault. He's 8 inches, 10 inches behind the line. If he scoots up a little bit more, that's a swish.
I'm not a biggest fan of the phrase announcer's jinx. I think it's a little overused, but
I was so impressed.
I've never seen one that was that perfect, where you're talking about how...
I was so incredibly impressed with the fact that he was that far behind the free throw line, yet hit the most perfect swish I've ever seen. And now he's probably rethinking his whole free throw strategy after that one.
I think you should go over there and tell him, next one, why don't you scooch in a little bit?
Yeah, listen, man, hey, can I give you some thoughts? You wouldn't miss it short if you were on the free throw line.
That was too perfect. Chris Lane kicks out. Mormon, 3.
Hanging around. Love Virginia is hanging around. Under 3 minutes here until we get to that Elam ending. And the closer it is, the more of an advantage it is for Love Virginia. The lower seed, no pressure on them, playing with nothing to lose, as Tark has another great drive to the basket. He's been such a great spark for this Shell Shock team in the second half. the two Coppin State boys bringing so much to the table.
And how cool to have a guy, Juan Dixon, not only Final Four MOP and national champ in 02, but a recent Division I head coach, and you've got him on your sidelines in TBT. That's pretty cool.
Very cool. And I actually, when I was in school, Maryland, fairly fresh into the Big Ten, he was on staff as a graduate assistant for Turgeon, and he played in the manager games against the Ohio State managers, as well as one Greg Oden. So we got to see the #1 pick in the NBA draft go up against Juan Dixon, the most outstanding player in a Final Four, in a manager basketball game on a random Tuesday night in College Park, only in college basketball. Tark needs to scoot in closer. Those were too short again.
Some big misses.
Every point counts as we get closer and closer to that Elam ending.
Malik Johnson. White for the lead. We have not seen a lot of Diamond Stone the last handful of minutes. Anything to make of that? Morcell.
Regarding Diamond Stone, my guess is, a guy like him, big body, give him the ample amount of rest so that he can give you everything he's got in that final four, under four in the Elam ending. Give him a quick break now, a quick breather, and roll him out once that Elam ending starts. But listen, Shell Shock can't play with their food right now. 2 minutes still to go, only a 2-point lead. So much basketball to be played, and nothing surprises me anymore in this tournament. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if Love Virginia was leading heading into that Elam ending.
3 missed free throws and an uncontested missed layup, and Lane takes advantage. It's a rough couple of minute stretch there for Shell Shock.
And this is the point of the game where you miss guys like Eric Ayala and Melo Trimble, guards that can settle you down and play in the half court and make sure the possession ends with a great shot. It's just a different ball game without those two on the floor, especially when it gets into crunch time.
Morcell, a lot of dribbling. Fouled. Morcell was fortunate not to lose that basketball. That really epitomized what you were just saying, because you don't have an Ayala or a Trimble, and we're seeing them struggle to create space.
And create shots at all. And Daryl Morcell will be the first one to tell you he's a great basketball player, a great professional basketball player. But his MO has never been, get out of the way, let me go create a shot for me or my teammates. That's never been his game. And to rely on him in crunch time right now, if you're Shell Shocked, doesn't mean he can't do it, doesn't mean he won't do it. It's just not the same as having the aforementioned Eric Ayala, the Melo Trimbles of the world. And you don't just have Melo Trimbles walking around everywhere. That dude was the clutchest guy I can remember in those Big Ten days. Game-winning shots against teams like Wisconsin, at home against Michigan State, so many game winners. The perfect guy to have the ball in his hand right now, but he's not out there.
White. Might want to pull this out or restart it. And lucky to keep it.
Yeah, not a ton of numbers there if you're Maryland, and at the point in this game where it's very aware that as there's a timeout called by Coach Juan Dixon, every possession so critical, so important. No need to blow anything here late, 53 seconds from the Elam ending.
$1 million winner take all the basketball tournament. He's Joey Lane, I'm Eric Duick. Energy in this building is definitely starting to pick up a little bit. Elam ending coming up. One thing that benefits Shell Shock that in retrospect probably hurt the Happy Valley Hoopers quite a bit was that Shell Shock's in it and leading right now. Happy Valley Hoopers had to expend so much energy to get over the hump late. That really probably stung the top seed earlier.
You're going to think I'm crazy, but it is to your advantage to be playing with the lead in TBT, without a doubt. And you're exactly right. I mean, heading into the Elam ending, which you see here, the rules of the Elam ending on the screen, as we approach the Elam ending, it is so important to be in control, to have the momentum. And with the possessions being so important and every stop and bucket so critical, you want to be that team that, you know, only needs 8 points heading into that Elam ending versus having to climb a bigger hill.
March well off. He hesitated, double clutched, and came up empty. He's kind of gesturing his shooting motion.
Very uncharacteristic of the Ronald March we've seen tonight.
Lewis out of control. Ball stays with Love Virginia.
Oh boy. From my seat, from our seat, it looked like it was clearly off Lewis's chest. Obviously no reviews, no challenges. But this is the perfect example where there is basketball karma, and the basketball gods, they know what was intended and what the right call was, and we'll see what happens on this possession.
Ten on the shot clock. Gill defends White. Big takeaway for the big man in the mismatch. And Morcell kicks it away. Foul from behind. Lewis really active in transition. And a rough turnover on the other end for Morcell, but like you said, not necessarily used to handling the ball in that situation.
And it's no knock on Daryl Morcell, the basketball player, because he is a star. Everyone saw it, whether it was at Maryland, Marquette, and now a great professional basketball player playing in Kosovo. That's just not his game. That's not his role on this team. It's his role tonight, but it's not his role on this team. And as Lewis heads to the line looking to tie the game here, in the Elam ending, with it ultimately looking like it's going to be tied heading into the Elam ending, one team has astronomically better guard play in this game right now, and that's Love Virginia. Looks like they're going to play it out and try and get a bucket heading into the Elam ending.
Gill doesn't finish.
Love Virginia going to do the same thing.
Love Virginia's new to TBT. This is a spot where you do call the timeout.
So they say.
So they say. I know Nick Elam would call the timeout, and he's the originator. Cardacci blocked.
I'm sitting here kind of in awe, honestly, at the game plan. It's almost, you have to wonder if there was any research done by these teams on heading into the Elam ending.
And that is a massive three for Moorman.
I was gonna say you gotta call the timeout there, but they're trying to foul.
And a chaotic shot from Ronald March.
Holy guacamole. The Elam ending does crazy things to people. And now we've got the Elam ending coming up. Target score of 75. Quick math there. How fun is this?
75, the target score. First to it wins in the $1 million the basketball tournament. Back at the $1 million, the basketball tournament. First team to 75 wins. Joey, real quick, I know you're still stunned by the strategy or lack thereof for both teams.
Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. The Elam ending does crazy things to people, and was there a lot of strategy in there? I don't know, but maybe it was the right strategy.
Johnson, out of control shots. Gill jams it home.
Now that is how you start the Elam ending. Shell Shock, 9 points away from winning this game. We are in for a phenomenal finish here, folks.
White, short and wide, 2 bad trips. Gill getting held. It falls to Tark, who finds Morcell, who's going to the line.
Chris Lane a little upset with himself, not with the call necessarily there. And I think it's a discussion on whether that's a delay of game or a technical foul. Regardless, Daryl Morcell will shoot 2 for the shooting foul.
It is a technical foul. That is a killer.
And they'll send our guy Cardaci to the line. Who else?
And when you're playing to a score and not even the time, that point is almost even more important.
Absolutely. Listen, they call them free throws for a reason. And free throws in the Elam ending are especially important and paramount. As there looks like a little scoreboard issue that's been fixed. To have a 3-point possession of any sort when you only need, it was 9 points at this possession for Shell Shock, or 8 points in generally speaking. A 3-point possession, whether that be an and one, whether that be a 3 free throws like we're about to see, or a 3-pointer, cuts a huge chunk into the points necessary to win. Just a ginormous possession for Shell Shock in what felt like Love Virginia had all the momentum.
Gill taps it out. Rebound Johnson. Brother Robert, former top 50 recruit, 4-year starter at Iowa. Here's Lewis, or at Indiana, pardon me. Tark defends. Lewis, that may have been deflected. Buckingham right there, and he's fouled.
Look at the lineup that's in for Love Virginia right now. People talk about going small. This is going mega small. They don't have a forward out on the court. 5 guards, and none of them over 6'4". And that's generous.
And I don't mean this as a knock. Look at the lineup for Shell Shock, too, compared to what you thought it would be a week ago on paper. And that's just the funny thing with TBT sometimes, whether it's injuries or conflicts, you don't always know who's showing up. And that's no fault of Shell Shock. A lot of theirs are injuries. But right now you see there the harm of not having a true point guard in the game. Mormon can't take advantage. And an easy 2.
Right place, right time for Malik White. Love Virginia inching closer and closer to another upset in the TBT.
And we still haven't seen Diamond Stone. Why isn't he in the game?
I think they're going small, and as much as it would be a positive on offense, it would definitely be a negative on defense.
Fair. March, short. Tie up. Lost it. Tark, good pass. March ties it.
How great has Tark been? His energy and effort on both ends of the floor. A great pass, under control, to find Ronald March for a big bucket. It's a race to 5 in Harrisonburg.
Lewis on Cardacci. 3. Bricked it. First team to 5 wins. 75 is your target score.
And now it's about getting great looks at the basket. Every possession matters so much here. Shellshock got the stop. Can they get a great look?
Lewis behind the back. White lays it off the window.
What
No point guard.
What a find by Tutu Lewis. 3 points away. I guarantee you there's a three-pointer shot on the next possession.
That's one shot in the ball because it's bonus. That is a hurtful, hurtful foul for Love Virginia. This is the first time we've seen this today. It was in addition to the Elam ending a few years back. One shot and the ball because they are in the bonus during the Elam ending. I think there's confusion right now among it's a different rule. A lot of people don't really realize it until it happens. But the rule Okay, now I'm confused.
Tons of confusion here.
That was, if it's a shooting foul, then it is 2 shots.
If it's
not, then it is 1 shot and the ball.
I'm wondering if we need to go tell the refs.
There's usually here, Randy, who's involved on the site here, is coming to talk to the officials. The rule is 1 shot in the ball.
And the rule is unique. And these referees are not used to this rule. It is unique to TBT, and they are going to consult the rule book to confirm, basically to confirm what we are talking about right now. They're pulling up the rules. They're showing him the rules. And it's almost just a double check, right? Because at the end of the day,
they're not double checking. They have no idea. Joey.
No, I'm saying.
No, I mean the refs.
The refs are saying, hey, we trust you, but we're going to confirm. And now we've got refs from the other game out on the court. That's to doubly confirm what we've been saying. Here it comes.
Okay, I really like sold out on that one, so I'm glad we were right.
Listen, it's a unique role, and we do our homework, right? So we do our homework, and we know the rule, and we're proud of the homework we've done. It's a win for the Lane Do It combo.
If after all that he didn't make the free throw.
That was awesome.
It's a huge. That was a.
Have you ever seen 5 refs out on the court at once?
That I actually no, I have not. It's an amendment to the rule, but it's been in place for a few years. But like you said, they're not familiar with it, and obviously didn't read it. Step back, strong, knocked around, and it's Love Virginia ball. A 3 would win it.
And Coach Wiggins raised 3 fingers up in the air to let his team know we're 3 points away. You best believe they're shooting a 3 on this possession.
Drive and a lay.
And by 3, I meant a wide open layup.
Gill, Fox foul.
And that layup doesn't hurt you if you're Maryland. There's no difference. They were 1 basket away, and the only way was a 3, and they obviously can't give up that three. Now, if they would have been able to win it on that possession, then it hurts Love Virginia, but same thing with Love Virginia. They're thinking anything but a three. 2 buckets total still needed to beat them.
Now it's a one-possession game for Shell Shock. You need your best defensive lineup on the floor right now if you're Shell Shock, because you've got a timeout if you get a stop. You got 2 timeouts, actually.
And they're subbing in Tark now. Got to make sure he's on the floor. And this is what you sign up for in basketball, right? You have practices and different games that you practice where it's you need a stop or you lose this game. This is life or death, this stop right here. Can you get a stop and a bucket to follow to advance?
Love Virginia. Anything through the basket wins it. Johnson, kick out, Moorman attacks, a lot of contact, turnover. Shell Shock can win it with a field goal. March, layup, fouled.
Two free throws stand between Shell Shock and advancing to the next round of the tournament. A timeout to ice the shooter from Love Virginia, and also for a set play in case Ronald March misses one or both of these free throws. An incredible finish here in Harrisonburg. All comes down to 2 free throws for one of the best players in this game so far, Ronald March. He got the scoring going for Shell Shock and the Maryland Alumni team to start this game with 3 threes in the first quarter, and now he looks to finish off a pesky Love Virginia team with a simple 2 free throws from the line. 2 free throws.
Ronald March.
That's all it is.
Ronald March shot 69% for the Ningbo Rockets in the CBA this year in China. Last few years, his percentages 69, 66, 63, 63. These are 2 of the bigger free throws of his life. He's so good from 3, but the free throw percentages leave a little to be desired.
He's 5 for 6 tonight. The only miss coming early in the game. He's made 4 straight since the miss. A shot 2 shots, I guess you could say, that you dream about. Game-winning free throws. Nobody shoots more shot. There's nothing you shoot more than free throws in the gym each day. You end workouts with free throws. You end practice with free throws. This moment, so important, yet so simple.
Swish. Next point of any kind wins this game. It's over. Shell Shock lives to see another day. In the $1 million, the basketball tournament. Love Virginia with a remarkable effort.
What a game. What a game, and you got to tip your cap to Love Virginia and the fight that they brought to this game tonight. But Shell Shock took so many punches, down 2 of their best players. Not a lot going right for them all night long, and here they are advancing.
That free throw before the extra possession for Shell Shock was pretty important.
That free throw that the refs finally determined was the right call ended up winning that game for Shell Shock, and rightfully so. A lot of adversity overcame in that with 2 simple free throws. What a game by Ronald March, and Diamond Stone and Daryl Morcell sure showed up when it mattered most.
He's Joey Lane, I'm Eric Duick, the host, Founding Fathers. Up next against Next Era Elite.